The Rincon community is in mourning tonight and rallying to help 3 children whose father was killed in a fire and whose mother was seriously burned. And several neighbors are being credited with entering the burning home to save the woman. The fire in the 200 block of Green Drive happened about 1 o'clock Saturday morning. That is when neighbors say they first saw the flames and came to help. 39-year-old Vernon Warner was later found dead inside the house. 3 children ages 13, 9, and 2 were able to get out of the home. Warner's wife Audrey, however, is being treated at the burn center in Augusta after being burned on at least 40% of her body. As WSAV's Meredith Lay reports now, the community is trying to help and praising several neighbors who came to the family's rescue.
For the quiet Westwood Heights neighborhood, last Friday started off like all the rest. Cliff Helmy had just pulled into his driveway from a long day at work, but then he says he saw something terribly wrong.
My wife and I heard screams coming from down the street, and we saw the 2 children running down the street, so I immediately ran to the house where I saw fire.
Kevin McCoy just wrapped up game night with friends and family. After dropping a friend off at home, he says he also heard something out of the ordinary, but knew it was bad when he saw Cliff.
My first thought was, it's just a Friday night, 1 o'clock in the morning, there's a fight somewhere. But as soon as I turned the corner and saw the flames, I realized where he was running and followed and pulled right up in the yard with him. And my first thought was, I know that family. You know, their daughter plays with my children.
The screams the men heard were the children who were already outside of the home. Watching the flames engulf their house, they were crying for their mother, Audrey, who was still inside. The men sprung into action.
I proceeded to kick in the doors and break the windows to try to release some of the smoke. And about that time, the screams were closer to the front.
Some more neighbors had came from behind the house to try to help. And finally someone came with a flashlight, so we were able to, shine the light through that front window when we broke it out and found that that's where she was. We decided we got to go in and get her. There she is. She can't make it to us, so we got to go to her.
The men drenched themselves with water and took turns pulling Audrey out. They say if they had been a minute late, she might not have made it.
She said, thank you, is what she said. She said, thank you. And I told her that she was okay and the children were out.
But as it turns out, her husband Vernon was still in the home, and the flames were so intense and so hot, no one could go back in. Audrey is alive because of the kindness and bravery of her neighbors, men and women that didn't know each other before, but now are like family. Meredith Lay, WSAV News 3.
And log on to WSAV.com and search Rincon Fire to find out how you can help Audrey Warner and her girls.